All right, the largest opportunity that Sam Altman and the people in AI are just missing right now. This is going to be a video that's breaking down some of this to get it out there in the public space, because right now, there's AI is the big thing. It's great, it's everywhere. And I think it could be a huge opportunity, but there's a massive, massive opportunity right now for entrepreneurs to capitalize on the next big wave of artificial intelligence, and that's connecting the AIs into the blockchain. All right, so let me break this down on how. So the problem is that integrating like large language models into government, into what's now known as like MCP, which is a protocol that Claude had put out in 2024, which allows the AI agents to go inside of your bank account. And it's too sensitive. Nobody wants to do that. Inside of your files on your desktop, private information, and retrieve that information. But it's way too risky. Nobody wants to give these AI agents access to that stuff. So the big opportunity here is going to be where an entrepreneur, he figures out how to blend in the AI agents with this new MCP protocol, which Claude has put out now, all right, with blockchain, all right, with the original blockchain, because there's only one way to do it. And IPv6 coming, it's already here, 30 years in the making now with the larger web addresses. Latif Ladid in the London conference, he talked about IPv6 it's only compliant on one blockchain. It only works on one. They're neutral, but it only works on one blockchain. And for some reason, this opportunity is being missed right now. Not being missed, maybe we're just early. I'm just early, I guess. Way early. Nobody sees it. There's a few chatters on it. There's a little bit of chatter. Ruth Heasman wrote a book really breaking this down. Credit to Ruth for really going deep and opening up my eyes on like the potential here, because it's a really deep concept to trying to wrap your head around, and how this AI Bitcoin revolution, was the title of her book, can happen. And really, I think it's chapter 9 of her book that she really goes in deep about the MCP, this protocol that Claude had put out in 2024, which is a AI agent. It goes into the files of people, into their bank accounts, which is scary. People don't want that. Now, but if there was a way to make a secure protocol to log transactions and make it private, 100% private, and guaranteed to be private through its ledger, not just, I'll promise it'll be private. I'll guarantee, I'll make sure it is, but you have no way to check that your information isn't being breached or utilized, or what's happening with it. Well, then, until that happens, this next level, this next wave, big giant wave in AI and blockchain integration won't happen. So we've got a challenge out here to entrepreneurs. And I actually had a call today with a buddy of mine, Chris. We worked at Ameriquest together back in the day. And, he's over in South Florida, and he actually told me a cool story, because he was at a cigar lounge bar and met some 27-year-old guy. I don't know who it was. And he says, oh, yeah, they started talking all about crypto and whatever. He didn't know anything about Bitcoin and crypto, nothing. So, he's like, you should come to a meetup. So he brings him to a meetup, and he's like, oh, we got this influencer guy there. And it was Kurt Walker Jr. was going to be there, or he was there. So they had 10 or 15 people at the meetup, and he goes, oh yeah, my name came up in conversation somehow. He's like, I know, Gavin, we used to work together. He calls me up on the phone during the meetup, and they were blown away to think that, how did you just call that guy on the phone? And we start talking, and as soon as that happened, he didn't go out and just, what he did was he used to be when he was 17, he used to, his vision was like a software programmer, software engineer. Then he went into sales after that. He hadn't done anything with code since he was 17. But he's like, sure, I'm going to go back in and learn how to do this large language model programming. So for the last year and a half, this was probably a year ago when he had this meeting, maybe a year and a half ago when he called me over this little meetup they had. Since then, he hasn't just been buying and hodling. I don't think he bought anything. All he's been doing is building this large language model and teaching himself how to be a large language model programmer for the last year. So now he's built his own large language model, not just copying one, but actually built it from scratch. And he told me today that he understands how to build it. That's like a really valuable skill. So he put it out. He showed it to me today. I told him, I said, the next big thing though is not just the large language model and making it faster and better, but making it secure. Making it secure, private, secure, immutable, to where we have a log for all these transactions. And now what happens is we got a use case for micropayments. So right now there's no use case, not none. There's very little use case for micropayments until we have a onboarding from a credit card. So right now we own the one-click onboarding. So if we can get that one-click onboarding, when we get compliance with Visa, MasterCard, there's no use case with, let's say, Limit. Like Limit cannot launch until there's that onboarding. But this, with the blockchain and AI connection, these large language models, they're already like say pre-funded through a subscription model, and they already have plenty of tokenization, plenty of Bitcoin to transact with in micropayments. So that now they're tokenizing the queues in sats. That's the way I see it happening. These tokenization of all the queues become the use of the micropayments, and everything gets logged on chain. That way it's auditable, transparent, and there's no way to have the large language model lie to you later and say, oh, this is what happened. That's not, and you see what happened. And we create a bot, where it has liability. I don't know. It has to be liability and accountability for these bots too. The bot needs accountability. So if it's doing fraud, we need a way to see that fraud. We've got a major problem with fraud right now. So this is another thing. These bots start doing fraud by getting into people's bank accounts and stealing the bank accounts, draining them, transferring the money out to another guy. Well, that's a huge problem, dude. Major problem. So all this has to be done in a secure, very technical way, auditable and transparent. The only way to do it is going to be by integrating the two, blockchain and AI. So shout out to Chris for reaching out to me today and having that great call. There's going to be more to come on this. I'm considering maybe joining forces with him and bringing, if nobody else is going to figure this freaking thing out, nobody else is going to do it. Sam Altman doesn't care, I guess. Sam Altman's getting in all his trouble now. He's got all his problems with ChatGPT, with a lot of people, accusing them of 9 murders. I mean, not just Sutra Bilal, but like major problems, dude. 9 and all sorts of other legal problems. I mean, a lot of people just want money, I'm sure, but the Sutra Bilal thing's real. So if Sam Altman's just too upset to get involved in this, then maybe we just do it on the boots ground up with people who don't have the resources of a guy like that, and we just freaking do it. So maybe, nobody seems to care about the micropayment side of the blockchain yet, and AI, and how it's going to blend together. It's just too cutting edge right yet. It's like, but I'm telling you, this thing moves fast. As soon as people get it, like the entrepreneurs get it and they see it, it's going to freaking happen. Everybody's going to swarm to it. And then once the swarm happens, this is just one more angle to create the great Bitcoin flipping I've been talking about. This is just another angle. Massive amount of transactions flood to the chain, okay, and all the demand, and then all of a sudden the miners get more profitability, and then we have the great Bitcoin flipping again. All right, this is all elements are all lining up in this. I'm like sitting I'm like kind of meditating last night. I'm thinking like, these bots, they move at light speed. It's unbelievable the amount of things they can get done. And I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it's another 20 years. Dude, the way these bots and AIs move, you think that it's not going to happen within, dude, my target's the end of the year. That's where I'm at. End of the year. I'm not messing around with anything longer than that because, I just don't see, I see a lot of potential right now in the great Bitcoin flipping by the end of the year. But this AI blockchain connection is a major, major step forward. So yeah, check it out. Check out Ruth Heasman's book on that if you guys want to learn more about how that all works. If you're an entrepreneur, or if you just want to freaking learn. It's Ruth Heasman, AI Bitcoin Revolution. All right. And watch for more about this to come. My name is Gavin Mehl. It looks like I may be doing Satoshi Insiders Club. I did talk with, someone about that yesterday and doing the, Satoshi Insiders Club, really kind of launched it. We'll see. I'm kind of getting a lot of ideas on that. I have forward. It has to make sense. It has to be profitable for me. I'll be honest. I cannot just do another thing and volunteer a massive amount more time. I can't do it. I don't have the resources. I don't have the bandwidth. So there has to be a solid path forward for it to make a lot of sense for me to put a ton of time into an insiders club, and I would do it if it made sense. So if it was profitable, like that's basically what I'm saying, and we all win. Everybody wins from it, because I mean, this type of information right here that I'm sharing right now is one of those things that I would really kind of break down in like an insiders. And like this type of an entrepreneur, he's not looking for investors. He doesn't need investors. So it's not really something he can invest in. But I mean, he's looking for maybe collaboration with people like me, ideas, how to make it huge, how to, as a large language model programmer and a business owner, how to expand it. Like that's what he's looking for. So, and we really have the opportunity to do that. So look for more to come. My name is Gavin Mehl. All right, hit the one, subscribe, share the video out there if you haven't, and I'll see you at the top.